instead of thinking through a poem or a speech act as something that comes from the inside and goes to the outside, I think of it in terms of a shaped act of communication that's shaped by limitations that I call strictures. What I want to do is distinguish stricture from censorship. All of our language, the grammar is a stricture. We can only have certain kinds of sentences that people can understand, and other sentences people can't understand. The shapes of our mouths, the things that we can say, what's pronounceable is a stricture. Our linguistic backgrounds, they're all strictures. And poems have all these other strictures. They have to fit on a page. You've got to be able to print them usually, or you have to be able to put them in a web video. People have to read them. A publisher has to buy them, or you have to hand them on a piece of paper to somebody. There's different kinds of rules about how poems happen. This comes a lot out of my experience feeling like poetry is part of a community stricture. The strictures are everywhere. Governmental strictures and parental strictures. You know how many authors don't write what they want to write because their parents would be upset? Extremely common. That's a stricture, right? You could say that's censorship. It's not really censorship. It's just a limitation that some writers have. Once you start from the idea that these things are happening, they're normal, they're omnipresent, you stop thinking about freedom of speech or freedom of expression as freedom from rules. You start thinking about it as the ability to choose your own system of rules from a broad variety of options. People would say, this place is not free or that place is not free. No, I go to both places. That's more free than being in either individual place. Right? I have opportunities in one place, I have opportunities in another place, and I have the ability to choose between those systems. That's better. Right. And in that sense, free verse, right? Everybody says free verse isn't free. You create a system for your individual poem. The poem has to have that system in order to be interpreted, in order to be beautiful, but you set what those rules are. You're not inheriting them from some other. So instead of saying, we want to be free, let's get rid of rules, you start thinking, we want to be free. Let's migrate between systems. Let's move across borders and let's make that easy and possible. Because what happens in contemporary society a lot is that people just make it hard to move. So they want to trap you in one system of rules so that you have to participate in it. You have to pay into it. If you didn't, that's the problem. You can't migrate in or out. This is why a lot of our hardest rules come from like citizenship, because you only have one, or family, because you only get one, or the economy, there's only one economy. These are the most intractable systems of rules, and they're the ones that would be nice to open and more fluid. That's where the book ends, just thinking about how we keep multiple systems open and accessible for people who want to speak in one way or another so that they can choose. I do get it from the ethic of free verse, which is honestly like design a poem, follow rules, shape it, make it beautiful, but you choose the rules. We don't choose them for you in free verse.